I'm gonna need you to just stop doing this, okay? So most of the recurring issues that I get from my clients are their to-do list, their task list, it just seems never ending. It seems like they'll never finish. It gets longer and longer every week, every day. And I've always come to the same issue with them is stop adding these things to your calendar. This is what's making it, one, longer, and two, making you feel overwhelmed with all the things that are actually on your to-do list. So today we're going to walk through the 2-minute rule. So things that you can do in 2 minutes that do not need to be added to your calendar. We're also going to go over things that should not be on your to-do list but actually should be on your calendar instead. For maximum productivity, this has been talked about forever. I like to put things on the actual calendar versus a to-do list. Now, if you use something like reminders that actually has a date and a time along with that task, that's perfectly fine as well. But if you're looking at your calendar for the day, let me see what I have to do today, and you don't see that reminder in there, you're going to now not even do that because it's not on your actual calendar. So we're going to talk about what needs to be on your calendar, what should not be on your to-do list at all, and the items that you need on your task list, and how to work your task list from week to week. So let's get into it. So I always start my clients, even my own to-do list, with a brain dump, meaning everything that you have to do, everything from everywhere. This can include household things, chores, school activities, all of it. Business wise, it's your actual, if you work a 9 to 5, task for that, everything that you can think of, you're going to add it to what I call a brain dump list. It's not really a brain dump, but everything that you have to do, you're going to dump it into this one list. I preferably like to do this at the beginning of the month, so like a monthly overview type thing. Then what I do is I add anything that needs a specific date and time for it to be done. I put it in the actual calendar as an event. So if on my to-do list I have make a doctor's appointment for myself or my kid or whoever, I'm actually not going to leave that on my to-do list. I'm going to look at my calendar as a whole, my work calendar and my business calendar, whatever calendars I need to. I'm going to ask myself, how long would calling to make an appointment take, right? Because you know your doctor's office. I mean, if you've never called, that's different. But if you know your doctor's office, you're going to kind of know. They pick up pretty quick. Once they look at their calendar and once I look at my calendar of what days I want, and of course you should have your calendar up when you call them, right, so that you can schedule accordingly. This usually takes me about 20 minutes to do the whole thing from start to finish. From them giving me an appointment to me adding it to my calendar takes 20 minutes. You want to look at the 20-minute gap that you have in your schedule for that week. If it's that same day that you're writing that to-do list, go ahead and actually schedule that in. So that's the first thing. You're going to add those tasks that require some time to do, to give it an actual date, give it an actual time, so that when you're looking at your calendar as a whole, so you know that at 2:15 I have to call the doctor's office. It's going to take me up to 2:35. After you have your time set, and you're going to now ask yourself, where are you going to do it? Are you going to do it at your desk? Are you going to do it while you're walking for your afternoon walk like I do? Are you going to do it while you're grocery shopping? Are you going to do it, you know, those type of questions, right? So we want to know when, we want to know what time, and we want to know where we're doing it. And this is not all made up by me. I got all of these techniques from the Atomic Habits, which I highly recommend that you read, that everyone reads. So you're going to add it to your calendar like this. Wednesday at 2:15 for 20 minutes, I'm going to call the doctor's office to schedule an appointment for so and so. I'm going to do this at my desk while I'm on lunch, or I'm going to do this while I take my 20-minute walk. So when you're walking, you're actually getting something done, if that's how you want to do it. Because sometimes I like to just walk and listen to a podcast and not have any to-do list things to do, but it may look different for you. The whole point is to make sure that you give every task item a date, a time, and a place. That's pretty much it. It's almost like when we get up in the mornings and we journal. We're going to journal. We're going to write that we're going to journal at 6 a.m. in the bed, or journal at 7 a.m. at your desk. So it's you create those kind of habits of things when and where you can do things to add to your calendar so that you actually get them done. Obviously, we already grouping things, right? So when we get up in the morning and have a routine, we already brush our teeth, anything that has to do with getting ourselves ready, we already group all of that stuff together. So that's just what that means. If you get 20 minutes at your desk before you start, you do X, Y, and Z. For me, I do morning pages, affirmations, and my top 3 goals of the day, which we're gonna get into next. And I do all of that sitting at my desk, unless I have that specific day that I want to switch it and sit at the kitchen table. But for the most part, I'm almost always at my desk. At night, I have my night routine. So again, this is the turn down, is what I like to call it, like the turn down services at hotels. This is my turn down service to me. So my turn down service is after dinner, I shower, I do my skincare routine, I make some tea, I have family time with my son, I get in bed by 9, I read by 10, and I'm out by 11. All that stuff will be my batch stuff taking care of me. So you can either do it by location or you can do it by routines. And setting up routines, you don't have to set up routines. I think it's really helpful to do so that you know what you're doing in this big chunk of time, but you don't necessarily have to. So my next goal is to plan for the week ahead. So it's basically just like what I was saying when you brain dump and you take everything out for the month and you add it to your calendar. You're gonna sit down, whether you want to do it Monday morning, whether you want to do it on Sunday. I do it on Sundays because it's my self-care plan for the weekday. And so on Sundays, I do my self-care routine, take care of me, but I also sit down to plan for the week. So that entire week, I pull out anything from my calendar and add it to my digital calendar because it's pretty. So anything that has a time that I already know that's coming up for me. Then I want to do any goals that I have for the week, and the goals relate right back to my monthly goals. So I break down my yearly goals into monthly goals, into weekly goals, into daily goals. That's just how I do it. If ever you are confused and you don't know where to start on tackling your calendar, your to-do list, your goals, this is when you need to book a call with me and we can go through coaching you to get you there. But for me, that's how I do it. I go from life goals to 5-year goals to 1-year goal to monthly goals to weekly goals to daily goals. So I'm going to get into the daily goals now. So you plan for your week, you figure out what you need to do that week, what's going to bring you forward to those goals that you're going to do that week. So for example, my goal is to bring my TikTok up to 500 subscribers. Those are things, and I've said this before, those are things that you can't control. In order for you to get followers, we can't control the algorithms of YouTube or any of these social media platforms. Well, we can control what we bring to the table. So I want 500 subscribers. I'm not gonna get them by not posting. So how many times am I gonna post is gonna be the question I ask for that week. If I want to post every day 7 TikToks or 7 whatever short form content, I have to record that. So then I pick the day I'm going to record that content. And if you watch my previous video when I did my theme days, I do all of my creative work on Wednesday. So that doesn't mean I necessarily record them, but at least I write some of those concepts out either in my freeform app or just handwrite them somewhere, really honestly, and then I put them in my Trello board. And Saturday, if there's anything to record, I will go ahead and record all of those videos. All my videos are recorded on Saturday. Now, if there's a TikTok or a reel or a short form that I can do right then and there, which leads me back to that 2-minute thing. Sometimes when I'm writing out creative ideas and I know that video, I'm already looking cute, right? I already got a face on, whatever. If I know that video or that idea I can do in 2 minutes or less, I'm gonna go ahead and do it right then and there. So it stops me from adding it to my to-do list and creating a longer to-do list for apparently no reason. I can do it right then and there. So a lot of the times I have done a lot of my short form content. Actually, it gets done when it gets done because they're short, especially a 7-second reel. Like, come on, I'm gonna do that right away, knock it down. I sometimes won't even write it down. I already have the idea. I'm flipping through IG reels and I saw that idea, it came to mind, I'm gonna do it right then and there. So I want to encourage you Anything that's under 2 minutes, 2 minutes and under. Don't write it down. Don't even write it down on your long to-do list. Just do it right then and there. Start getting into the habit of that, and you'll see that your to-do list starts coming down and down and down. You'll definitely see and reap the rewards of that, and you'll feel accomplished, to be honest, right? Because you're like, oh man, wow, I didn't even have to write that down on my to-do list, but I knocked out 5 reels in 2 minutes. Perfect. Draft them, keep them somewhere safe for when you are going to actually sit down and content plan for the week, the month, etc. Now, this is something that I've started to do recently. So you know how they have your top 3 of the day? You don't go to sleep without doing your top 3 things of that day. Well, I've converted them into goals because I have so many things that I do in one day that the top 3 wasn't really like the top 3 things to do before you go to bed type of thing, wasn't really vibing with me. And I go by vibes of the way things make me feel, and I pivot all the time. And I do that to find what works for me. So again, one of the things I tell my clients, what works for me is not necessarily going to work for you, but I can guide you through finding what is going to work for you. And even if we do find it, that doesn't mean that you're going to stick to that particular routine or that plan of action forever. You might have to pivot because it's not working for you, whatever the case may be. So that being said, I found that doing goals for the day was better than doing top 3 things, because again, my to-do list, I'm always busy. So that top 3 thing before you go to bed just was not working for me. So my goals help me to achieve a certain feeling. So for example, I'm wanting to get into, you know, bettering my health overall, not just for weight loss, which, let's be honest, I need it, but also I'm getting older, and as we get older, things start falling apart. You know, it's a reality that we have to deal with as we get older, and I'm there now. I'm like, okay, you know what, it's time to take care of my body. I'm not 20 or 30 years old. It's time. So I have a lot more fitness goals in mind. So when I sit down to plan my top 3 goals of the day, I want to take in that feeling. Like, how do I want to feel today? Well, today I want to feel accomplished in fitness. So my goal today is to drink my entire gallon of water. I want to make sure I walk for at least 30 minutes today, a big goal, right? And I want to knock out at least 5 tasks from my business to do today. So that's how I do it. So my goal for that day as a whole, out of those 3 things, is to feel accomplished, to feel good about myself, to feel good about where my business goals are going, to feel good where my health goals are going. So that's how I do it. If you want me to do a whole entire separate video on, you know, mapping out your top 3 goals for the day, let me know and I'll do it. But I wanted to touch on that because I've gotten into that, and it's really helped me to design my day. And that's what I want to do, right? I want to live. I don't want to live off of a to-do list, a calendar, a task list, a planning. I don't want to live like that, and I want this channel to be that for you. I don't want you to feel like you come to this channel to watch me plan, which I don't mind doing. I don't want you to feel like everything has to be so rigid. Add it to your calendar and productivity and all of that, which again, it's gonna be 80% of my content. But what I really want is for you to feel like you can do this in several different ways. What I want you to feel is like empowered, that you can create the life that you want. Envision the day that you want and do it. Have those feelings around what it feels like to have a slow day, a slow Sunday where you sip your coffee in bed and watch whatever movie you wanted to. That's what I want you to come to my channel for. I want you to learn business techniques, productivity hacks, but I also want you to live a softer life. So let's get into it. Let's live a softer life. So if you want to join me and live a softer life, let's get through productivity hacks. Let's plan our weeks, our months, push forward on our goals. Stick around with me. Make sure you subscribe. Please like the video. It helps obviously the algorithm, and leave a comment below on how you want to move forward in your life and in your business and how you want to feel. And I'll talk to you next Tuesday.